Barnaby and the Moonlight Express. Leo sat on his bed, hugging his blue teddy bear, Pip. Beside him lay a small, half-packed suitcase. "I don't know, Mom," he whispered, looking at the floor. "What if I miss my own bed tonight?" Mom knelt down and gave him a warm, encouraging squeeze. "You are a brave explorer, Leo," she said softly. "And every great explorer needs a grand way to travel to their next adventure." Suddenly, a cheerful honk-honk echoed from the street outside. Leo hurried to the window and gasped. Parked right at his front door was a bright, cherry-red London bus. It wasn't an ordinary bus. It had a shiny silver grille that looked like a wide smile and headlights that twinkled like friendly eyes. "I'm Barnaby." The bus seemed to hum with a vibration that tickled Leo's toes. "Ready for the Moonlight Express?" Leo grabbed his bag and stepped outside. The bus doors hissed open with a puff of magical, glittery air. Instead of hard plastic seats, the inside was filled with velvet armchairs and glowing lanterns that cast a warm, golden light. Leo climbed the winding stairs to the very front of the top deck, feeling like the king of the world. Barnaby didn't just drive, he glided. As they rolled through the city, the wheels barely touched the cobblestones. They zoomed past the giant clock of Big Ben, which chimed a special hello melody just for them. Leo pressed his nose against the cool glass of the window, watching the city lights twinkle below like fallen stars. He realized he wasn't feeling nervous anymore. He was feeling fast. "Did you know?" Barnaby whispered through his speakers, his voice sounding like a soft radio. "Grandma's house is the secret headquarters for the Midnight Snack Club." A golden map appeared on a screen at the front of the bus, showing a route marked with Cookie Mountain and the Library of Bedtime Tales. Leo's tummy did a happy little flip. The bus slowed down as they reached a quiet, leafy lane. There, standing under a glowing porch light, was Grandma. She was wearing her favorite fuzzy cardigan and waving her arms wide. Barnaby came to a soft, graceful stop right in front of her garden gate, his red paint shimmering in the moonlight. Leo hopped off the bus, and Grandma scooped him up in a hug that smelled like cinnamon and sunshine. "I've been waiting for my favorite explorer," she exclaimed, spinning him around. She led him inside, where a fort made of starry blankets and fluffy pillows was already waiting in the middle of the living room. Leo looked at the blanket fort and then back at the big red bus waiting at the gate. He didn't feel small or scared anymore. He felt like a captain who had just completed a very important journey. "I brought Pip," Leo told Grandma, holding up his bear, "and Barnaby says we are the newest members of the Midnight Snack Club." Barnaby gave one last gentle honk and a playful wink of his headlights. He began to roll away, turning the corner as he headed back toward the city lights. Leo stood at the window and waved until the red glow of the taillights disappeared, knowing that Barnaby would be back to fetch him when the adventure was over. Later that night, tucked into the softest pillows he had ever felt, Leo listened to Grandma read a story about dragons and brave knights. He realized that sleeping over wasn't about being away from home. It was about having two homes. Leo closed his eyes, dreaming of flying red buses and cinnamon-scented hugs.